Certainly our speaker needs no introduction. In the quintessential American success story, Les Brown went from his childhood struggles as an underachiever to a hip-talking morning DJ to broadcast manager, from community activist to community leader, from difficulties in reading to three-time author, from political commentator to three-term state legislator, from a banquet and nightclub MC to television radio host and award-winning international speaker who has spoken on 4 continents. Les Brown is recognized as a legend in the speaking industry and is ranked #1 in the world. Les has received the highest award from the National Speakers Association and Toastmasters International. He is a graduate of the Johnny Coleman Institute. He is licensed by the Universal Foundation for Better Living Incorporated and ordained by the Reverend Dr. Johnny Coleman. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and help me welcome someone who envisions for you more than you might envision for yourself. My brother, my friend, our family member, Les Brown.
Thank you very much. Let's give our spiritual leader a tremendous round of applause for his introduction. And let's give the choir a tremendous round of applause. Y'all came out cooking now. All right. Yes, indeed. This is one of my children here, Patrick. He's going to be out in a kiosk. We have some products for you. We encourage you to come out and get them. That's Patrick Brown. Stand up, Patrick, so they can see you. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and I feel very honored to be here for the 60th anniversary. I came here in 1980. And it is, you know, I see one of my teachers who just had such a tremendous impact on me, Helen Carey. Yes, indeed. She always had to check me. I was always getting in trouble. I just have problems. I got issues, you know. When you think about the 60th anniversary, you know, faith into action equals manifestation. And all of the things that I have done and been recognized for, I was able to do that because of the larger vision that I had of myself as a result of the training and the classes that I received, the instructions that I received here at Christ Universal Temple Church. So let's give this ministry a tremendous round of applause. Dr. Johnny Coleman is ahead of her time, and a lot of people really don't know that. We have a whole area of medicine that really is mimicking what has been taught here for many years, a whole area of psychoneuroimmunology, how the mind impacts the body's immune system and nervous system. This whole body of work on that. As you know, I'm a 20-year cancer conqueror because of this kind of work. And trust me, it's better to be seen than to be viewed. But in recognizing 60 years, I encourage you, if you're not doing it now, I encourage you to get into the classes. And here's when you know that you know this work, is when you're manifesting it in your life. It became a problem for me, and I was teaching a class, you know, God's Millionaire and the Dynamic Laws of Prosperity by Catherine Ponder. And all of the class I was teaching, and then I was talking about being God's millionaire, and creditors calling my house. And my children would say, my daddy said he ain't home. And sometimes they would catch me. Now I speak to Les Brown, please. I'm sorry, but he's not here. You sound like Les Brown. Don't you go there, big boy. I'm teaching a class of God's Millionaire, and I walk past a bank and trip the alarm. I've got to do something about this. And so let's talk about manifesting, faith into action, manifesting. And so as we have 60 years behind us and all of God before us, as we talk about this ministry and a very brilliant spiritual leader, let's give him a tremendous round of applause, if you please. Come on, you can do better than that. Yes, indeed. Yes, sir. Yes. So I want to share, after I took the classes, I want to share with you the manifesting strategy that I employ. And I'm teaching a class now called Speak and Grow Rich. How many of you know if you want to make it today, you need to have multiple streams of income? Raise your hands, please. Yeah. How many of you know there's no such thing as job security? Raise your hands, please. Yes. So the 40-40 plan is gone, where you can expect to go to college, graduate, and you're in debt, and then get a job and expect to work 40 hours a week for 40 years. Those days are gone. So let's bring the slide up. The first one that I'd like to want you to look at is that as we begin to look at your goals and dreams, and I want you to take some notes, because this is a teaching ministry and some things that I have learned. And so it's faith in action, but more importantly, as you begin to look at, nothing is done without willpower. Everybody say willpower. No, Jesus said, whosoever will, let him come. So I want you to think about some major goal that in celebrating 60 years, that it will be a year of manifestation, a year of your reaching outside of your comfort zone, a year of your demonstrating at a larger level, unlike you've ever done before, what you have learned. Because if we're not manifesting it, lip service is not enough. At this stage of my life, at 71, I have some other stuff. I have some other work that I'm supposed to do. I have not done my work yet. I used to think people in their 40s were old. Now that I'm 71, I'm thinking people in their 90s are old. I had to raise the bar, But willpower. I want you to think about your major goal. And I want you to have a big goal. And why is that important? Because in order to do something you've never done, you've got to become someone you've never been. Shake someone's hand on your right and left, look them in the eyes and say sincerely, you have greatness in you. Do that right now. You have greatness in you. You have greatness in you. And in order to demonstrate that greatness, you've got to become a risk taker. You've got to reach outside of your comfort zone. Because in order to do something you've never done, you've got to become someone you've never been. When you become a risk taker, God said, if you're not willing to risk, you can't grow. And if you can't grow, you can't become your best. And if you can't become your best, you can't be happy. And if you can't be happy, then what else is there? So what is it that we learn? As you think about your goals and make it a big goal, a big dream, my goal was to dominate the speaking industry when I left here. I didn't want to just be one of the speakers. I wanted to be a dominant speaker. If you don't have the money, if you don't have the contacts, if you don't have the relationship, none of those things matter. When you have a goal and dream, if you have the willpower to go after it. I'm thinking about John F. Kennedy, 1961. The United States decided they were going to beat Russia to the moon. And he called his cabinet together. And the president was prepared to be there for weeks or months if necessary. And everybody was prepared to take notes. They didn't have the technology, computers did not exist, they didn't have a budget, and they didn't have the know-how. How would we go to the moon and beat the Russians there? And he looked to his right and he asked Werner von Braun. Werner von Braun was the most brilliant German scientist of that day. And he said, Werner, what will it take for us to go to the moon? As you think about your goals, as you think about your dreams, reducing unemployment, stopping the killings that are taking place on a daily basis. We think about creating wealth. Think about facing down a diagnosis that you're about to leave here. You think about achieving things, traveling around the world, enjoying life at a greater level. It requires willpower. He looked at Werner. Werner, what will it take for us to go to the moon? And the press was waiting with great anticipation. And he spoke just 5 words. 5 words. And just on those 5 words, the president called a press conference. He said, Werner, what will it take for us to go to the moon? And he said, the will to do it. What will it take for you to change your life? The will to do it. What will it take for you to create wealth in your life? The will to do it. What will it take for you to transition out of a job that's stressing you out and create a business that resonates with who you are as a person? The will to do it. What will it take for us to transform our community, to begin to develop a level of unity and harmony and begin to go to the next level? The will to do it. Let us say together, and I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to say the will to do it. What it would take for you to transform your life?
The will to do it.
What will it take for you to heal your body?
The will to do it.
What will it take for you to create positive relationships?
The will to do it.
What will it take for you to create wealth?
The will to do it.
Shake someone's hand on your right and left and say, I've got the will. Here's the next thing. As you look at your goals and dreams, what's very important is I want you to expand your vision. You can do more than you could ever begin to imagine. If anybody had told me, born in an abandoned building on a floor with a twin brother in Miami, Florida, in Liberty City, and being adopted, and when I was in 5th grade, I was labeled educable mentally retarded and put back from the 5th grade to the 4th grade, and failing again in the 8th grade. If anybody told me, coming here, the Johnny Coleman Institute and the training that I received, that I would be able to compete with people with PhDs and MBAs, and I have no credentials, that I'll be able to speak for AT&T, Procter & Gamble, McDonald's Corporation, DirecTV, from the training that I received here. If anybody had told me that I'd been able to accomplish those things, now I don't tell this to impress you, but to impress upon you. I don't know you, but here's what I know about you. You got greatness in you. You have the ability to do more than you can ever begin to imagine. But I didn't do this for 14 years because I had a tremendous inferiority complex because I don't have a college education. I allowed myself to be living a fear-filled life. You know, Zig Ziglar called fear false evidence appearing real. When we live a faith-driven life, faith, write this down, finding answers in the hard. And so as a result of developing the faith, I expand my vision of doing things beyond my comfort zone. I never worked for a major corporation. And I remember telling my mentor, Mike Williams, Mike, I can't speak at corporations. I don't have that experience. Who would pay me $30,000 an hour to come in and teach them to do something I've never done? And he said, Brownie, all of us are born the same way, dumb, naked, and speechless. You could learn. So expand your vision. And as a result, the thing is that learn something new every day. In 2007, Time magazine said the computer is the person of the year. Why? Because for the first time in the history of the world, everyday people have access to information. But in addition to that, I run my business from my cell phone. You can get a Square and process a credit card. I mean, from my cell phone. That's how I process my business. And so You got to learn something every day. At the politicians, the Democrats and Republicans, they don't mention that at the beginning of the year 2000, 5 million jobs are eliminated from the economy because of software, because of technology and smart machines. And they're not mentioning that in less than 10 years, 1/3 of the jobs that exist today will be gone. 1/3. That's dramatic. And so you will have to learn something every day to stay ahead of technology and cheap labor abroad. Write this down, non-performance income. What I'm doing is teaching speakers how to create non-performance income, where you're able to earn money and don't have to be physically involved in the process. The technology exists today that allows us to do it. So today, you want to learn something every day. Let us say together, I'm going to learn something every day. Because I can. And it allows me to live my dream. Now, here's the next thing that's very important. You know, psychiatrists have a new term called relational illness. There are people in your life that are just not good for you. They could make you sick. And there are a lot of people who will never achieve their goals because they have too many toxic, negative, energy-draining people in their lives. Les, can I change him? No. It's a full-time job changing yourself. And there's some people so negative they can walk into a dark room and begin to develop. Oh, behave, whatever. I'm sorry. My medication went off. I'm sorry. I got issues. And so you have to look at the relationships in your life and ask the question, what is this relationship doing to me? Am I growing mentally and emotionally and spiritually? And here's something, get a mentor. Find someone who's doing what it is you want to do and study them and learn from them, because you can't see the picture when you're in the frame. As you look at yourself and look at your goals and dreams, write this down. Create a power team. Create a power team of collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships. A power team. My son is with me because I wanted to build a business that my children can inherit and that I will be able to impact and take care of the education for my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren. I'm a great-grandfather. And so what we have to do today is create a power team of collaborative, achievement-driven relationships. These relationships that are supportive, people that you can learn from. Dennis Kimbrough said, if you're the smartest one in your group, you need to get a new group. Let us say together, let go, or be dragged. So there's some people you need to let go of. You're earning within $2,000 to $3,000 of your closest friends. Think about that. When I heard that, I got every broke person out of my life. Y'all gotta go. There's some people you don't want to be around because it's going to impact you and your vision of yourself and what you see for yourself. This is serious. Here's the next thing as you look at your goals and dreams. A service-driven life. The greatest among you will be your servant. Your success in life is directly related to the quality and the quantity of the service that you provide. John H. Johnson, in his book, Making Against the Odds, he says, there's no defense against an excellence that meets a pressing public need. You have a conversation about anything that you have learned, you can literally sell that product, that conversation, record it, don't even have to have it duplicated for cassette or CDs. You can sell it online, have somebody who knows technology and marketing, let them sell it for you, and be able to create wealth. There are 35,000 African-American millionaires. There are more millionaires have been created last year than any other time in history. It's easier now to create wealth than ever before in our economy. And so having a service-driven life, looking at the things that you want to do and having collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships. Learning every day that you have breath, you have an opportunity to serve. You have an opportunity to make a difference. And so what does that say? Let us say together, willpower. Expand your vision. Learn something new. Let go or be dragged. Service-driven life. We call that the Wells factor. Oh, you're going to clap better than that. Come on now. Y'all know, go on. And so when you think about yourself, trust me on this, and I'm telling you what I know. You can do more than you can ever begin to imagine. Dr. Howard Thurman, who was a mentor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., he said, there's something in each and every one of you that waits and listens to the voice of the genuine in yourself. It will be perhaps the only guide you will ever have. And if you cannot hear it, all of your life, your days will be spent on the ends of strings that somebody else pulls. You know, Katie says in Lessons in Truth, our primary cause of suffering is forgetfulness. When you don't come into a realization of who you are, somebody else will pull your strings. Somebody else will tell you what time to get up, how long your lunch break will be. Somebody else you would have to go to and ask for permission when you can go on vacation. Somebody else going to tell you how much you are worth. But when you're in this type of ministry that's designed to allow you to discover the truth of who you are, and that truth allows you to connect to a power and a presence in you to do more than you can ever begin to imagine. You have something special. You have greatness in you, and you must challenge yourself. You know, as we celebrate the 60th anniversary, we look behind and we thank God. We look ahead and we praise God. You have something special. You have greatness within you. This has been Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy and Derek Wells' pride and joy. Thank you very much.